welcome to the podcast called Elevate. The purpose of this podcast is to give you actionable steps that you can do today to change your life for tomorrow. My name is Mitch Pater, and today's guest is Jack Kennedy. Jack has one hell of a story, going from Michigan quarterback to becoming a rapper. This one's going to be interesting. So today we'll be kind of talking about overcoming adversity, doing whatever it takes to succeed, and pretty much whatever Jack wants to. So welcome, my man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
This is going to be sweet. So, dude, check out the studio. I love it.
Oh, here we are. We're in the cave. We're in the cave right now.
Dude, that is awesome. Where are you at exactly?
So I'm in Portland.
Okay.
This building is like it's like creative office space.
Sweet.
So when we moved here, we someone's texting me. We got an apartment and off Craigslist, didn't see the second bedroom. I was gonna have it in there, and then it ended up being tiny, so rented this space instead.
Okay, cool. So you got your own little spot to go make things happen, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes I feel like I kind of want that in mine. I'm in my house and it's very comfortable, and sometimes I'm like, is this the best place for me?
It's been interesting because I made all my other stuff in my other apartment.
I remember seeing that video that you and Doyle did and putting things together in this small room.
Yeah. So feels good.
Well, that's awesome, man. All right, so first off, I want to show you guys a couple clips here to give you a little taste of who Jack is and kind of introduce him a little bit here, and then we'll get into his background.
Listen quicker, you blink and you miss it. Visions, rhythm, musicians, almost placing the business paper, the single condition. Major league favoritism, labels created, boxes minted. Artists told where to fit in, but if you get it, everybody looking at me like, what the f is that, you rapping? Damn right, for why? Oh, this game you wanna play, go teach you to take a punch. Everybody wanna say it, but we'll see who can have the guts. Every chance you take a chance, and you ask if you've had enough. That's emphatic, no, never. We're after a greater love. I see them. Hands up, oh, hands up.
A little bit about your background, man. Tell me, where you're from, your story.
Yeah, so from Walled Lake, Michigan. Grew up, went to Walled Lake Central, then I went to Michigan, University of Michigan for college, and then, chilled around Ann Arbor for a little bit, and now I'm out in Portland.
Went to Michigan. I know there's some football history there.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I went there originally just as a student. I was doing physics, ended up doing physics and math eventually, but then they had open tryouts for the football team. I found out when I got there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go try out. I wanted to play football, but I broke a couple bones in my back my senior year of high school.
Okay.
So I didn't get recruited, but I was I felt like I could play at that level, but I just didn't. I couldn't go to the camps. I really didn't play that much because I was injured and stuff. And so I heard the tryouts, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. So I went, got cut the first time. And then I was like, all right, so for a week, or kind of a week or two, I was like, you know what, all right, this is my new reality. I was so set on, I'm going to go play football. And then I didn't make it. And then I was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to go crazy and keep trying and make it. So I just, I'd work every night and sneak into the big house, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they had tryouts again in January, and it ended up making it. So at the same time, there's there's a certain amount of luck. So when I first made it, and they bring on the walk-ons in January, for spring practice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your actual tryout,
Yeah.
You try out for an hour and a half, and then if they like you, they bring you back for spring practice, which is you actually play football.
Yep.
And we only had 3 quarterbacks at the time, and one of them broke their leg, and so then I was in.
Nice.
A week and a half into the thing, I was playing.
The tides changed quickly.
I didn't know half of the plays. Because they literally took us out. We made it in January, but they didn't bring us in till a week before practice started, and then they're just go. And then as a quarterback, you have to know shit. So,
yeah.
I was just like in the game, you know, like scrambling away from these huge linemen, and it was like I fired. But I did all right, so they kept me, you know. But there was I even got that like chance to play, because like usually a lot of quarterbacks they wouldn't even get that, because there's usually like 6 or 7 people on the roster at a time in quarterback, you know.
So, they go deep with those for situations like that. So in high school, this was something that you were probably, I mean, you played all 4 years in football. This was something that you had done and then got a little injury. Is that right?
Yeah. But I really never I never started on varsity. Like we had an older person that was like starting, and I was going to start my senior year, and then like I hurt my back. And so I never really, you know, played much, honestly, like to get looked at or anything.
Wow. So what made you want to, I mean, because I know in college it was, you know, to be in a college sport, it was, you were all in. That is your job. I mean, you go to school, but your other job is sports. So, you know, you went to college and you were like, there's an opportunity here. I want to do that. Or like, what drove you to do that? To go after it.
I mean, I love playing football, and also I thought I was good enough.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always self-awareness. You know, self-awareness is the key. You know, like I thought, you know, I'm not NFL, you know, but I was good. So I you know, it was chip on the shoulder. Like I wanted to, you know, prove some stuff. So
no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then, where did the rapping come in, or, you know, is this something that's you've always had this creative outlet? Maybe is that something that you've always had, or?
Yeah, so I always did music.
Okay.
I used to play drums in like a hair metal band in high school, which is we've all been there. But that was drummer. We'd play like Iron Maiden and like Twisted Sister, like all these 80s, like, you know, the 80s rock.
Yes.
And so I had that foundation, so I knew the rhythm, you know, and then I just kind of, you know, I was an only child, so when my parents would leave, I would just like rap alone. And then eventually I was like, all right, I'm going to like, I got to college and I was like, I'm just going to like record something on my MacBook, you know? So I just recorded on my MacBook. I was like, all right, like, you know, looking back, it's terrible. But at the time I was like, this was better than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
And then they had like a big thing for our team every year in camp. They have like the young guys get up and do like a talent show.
Yeah.
You know? And so usually it's terrible, you know. But me and my buddy was really good at singing, and then we had another kid on the team who was really good at guitar. So we all did like something together, and I was like rapping at the end, and the team just went like crazy. Like they were like standing on chairs, like screaming, all this stuff.
Let me guess, this was like in the locker room and all the dudes are just like
yeah, you know how it goes. Yeah. So I was all right, like maybe this is like, you know, maybe I should actually try, you know, like really try. So did that, and then I kind of got into making all the beats and stuff just because I was kind of very early on obsessed with like the sonics of it and kind of having your own sound and that kind of a thing. So.
Yeah, being unique and different. Ryan Doyle actually showed me one of your beats that you made, and it sounds like, from what he said, that you actually took your voice and then altered it, like a lot of people do. But I was just blown away at how creative you are in that regard as well. Not just a very awesome lyricist, dude. Your stuff's very impressive, and I'll show like a little clip of that right now because that is so sick. Yeah. No, exactly. We'll link you up, bro. We'll link you up. All that I've been jamming out to your CD all week, actually. That whole experience, I mean, that had to make you grow, not only as a person, but you know, probably pushed you in the direction where it gave you the drive to go after something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Like I probably wouldn't have pursued rap like I did or music like I did unless I had that experience, because when you have that experience of like going all in, like when I was training, I would get up at 5 a.m. Like I didn't go to any parties ever, like in college. I didn't even step foot in a bar till I was like out of college, you know? So, and it's really not about partying or not partying. It's about like spending all your energy doing one thing. Like I was going to school and I was waking up, training twice a day, like, and to have it pay off, that was like incredible. And it makes you feel like invincible in a way, or it makes you feel like like you can do anything.
Yeah. I feel like just from watching you from social media, I get a sense that you are all in on rap right now, and where you're headed in this direction. You know, nothing's going to stop you in getting there. Do you ever run into situations where you kind of question, do you question yourself ever, like where you're headed, where you're going, you know, where you're at now, and then like, do you ever like try to figure that out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I think that's like what makes people successful is like you constantly question everything.
Yeah.
And constantly reevaluate, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I good enough? Am I like, is this up to par? Is the quality high enough? Like all of that stuff. And like, I know like one thing that I need to get a lot better with is consistency on social media. And I think part of that's just me figuring out like logistics on my end, you know, doing everything myself. That takes time, but like how can I also be posting and showing that story while it's happening versus just for it to be done. So like I think there's a lot of like, I mean, you know, just being a creative, like you question everything.
Oh, totally. I mean, I woke up this morning, and the reason I ask you that is because I literally woke up and last night I was laying in my bed and I literally typed, I was like, I just type notes in my notes all the time and come back to them and try to reflect and learn and grow. But I typed in my notes and I was like, I'm 30 years old. Is this, you know, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Am I happy with where I'm at right now? And, you know, what do I want to accomplish with the time that I have left? I think about all that crazy in-depth stuff. So, yeah.
And you should. I mean, that's, like I like when I first got out to Portland, I was like, all right, like I either need to get a job or like, you know, make money doing music somehow. Like I wasn't making enough to live just on my own stuff, you know? And so like I just did the whole Instagram, like wake up super early, message 15, 20 people. And, you know, one of them would turn into someone that I'd mix for. And then I did that for, you know, 6 weeks, and that gave me income for like 10 months.
Nice.
And that allowed me now to just do what I want to do. But at the same time, that whole, like, I enjoyed doing it, but in the back of my mind, I was like, this isn't really what I want, though. It's a job, and that's fine, and I'm happy to work on people's art, you know, happy that they like it, and I like doing it for them, but it was the constant thing that you were just talking about of, like, is this the right path? And, like, I knew it wasn't the right path for me, but you have to just sometimes grind to, like, get past
doing whatever it takes. I think I mean, I still do that every day. I mean, I'm shooting, hopefully the bride's not watching, but I'm shooting a wedding this weekend, you know, and those are the things that I have to do to put myself in the position to continue doing what I want, and eventually hopefully get to that point where I only do the things that I really enjoy doing. But you kind of confirm the whole, you got to do some of the shitty things to get to that position, and it's tough, but that's good to hear, man. That's awesome. So now are you completely making music all for yourself, and you have an income source with that, or?
It's like living off what I made.
Okay.
We're seeing. I mean, it's like I jumped off a cliff, and we'll see if I have wings.
Yeah.
Sort of where it is, you know.
That's sweet.
Because it's exactly what you were saying. I was like, all right, like if I keep doing, you know, like a couple months ago, if I keep doing this, I'm not going to be where I want to be. Like, I know I want to be an artist. So like, to me, it doesn't matter if somebody, like, of course I need the money, but like, it doesn't matter how much you pay me to do a song. It doesn't matter if your song blows up that I produced. That doesn't add to me.
Yes.
Like, I want to make my own stuff,
yeah.
You know? And it's not like ego or anything. It's just like, that's my goal. So like, I don't care if I mix Taylor Swift's record. It doesn't help me get anywhere. You know?
I know, dude.
Like, always evaluating, like, is this really adding? And sometimes it's just like, what this is adding is I need money. So
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
Go get it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, you totally get me, man. It's a tough road, but I think all freelancers are probably in the same boat in terms of they want to create their art and live off of that. I think that's go ahead.
Yeah, I just said of course.
Yeah, shit, dude. I don't want to shoot anybody's shit. Maybe I'll shoot a video with you, dude. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, with social media, it's so fascinating to me right now. Like, we live in a time, and for musicians especially, it's good because of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people look down on streaming. If you're a label, I get it. But for someone like me, it's like, man, if I can get to 1 million plays a month across all of my songs on all platforms, which is hard to do, and I haven't done it.
Yeah.
But if you do it, like, you're gold. You live. You now earn an average salary.
Okay. So there is an end goal, in a sense. You have that.
It's a step.
Okay. Cool.
It's like all right. My next goal is like now I need to go live off streaming.
Yes. Yeah.
So how do you do that? You pump out Gary Vee levels of content.
I see. Yeah.
So that's sort of the next move. But
Okay. Have you ever thought about like creating a content calendar? I mean, it's something that I actually been starting to mess with a little bit here, is in just outlining your month of production and trying to take a couple, like, stacking up content in a week in advance, and then it comes out to 2 weeks and 3 weeks. I'm sure you've obviously thought about that, but put you in a position where you can crank it out consistently.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest challenges right now, and I'm sure you feel that, is like I know what I want and I have like the release calendar planned, but I'm still kind of like learning how to use my camera right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Doyle's a fucking killer, right? So
Yeah.
like my videos are shot by Doyle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, fuck. Like, I gotta at least have something respectable. Like, I can't be out here with a cell phone anymore. Like.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of learning that. And then the other thing is a little bit tough with music is that I'm sure you feel the same way with video, and any creative person is like, I want to be like quick but not hurry, so like I want to create as much music as I can as fast as I can, but like I don't want to compromise its quality. So like sometimes, like yesterday I was in the studio, like I'm starting a new mix, right? So I just was like trying a bunch of different new like software stuff. Like it'd be like trying new filters or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So it kind of has to be built in to like allow yourself to kind of go down some rabbit holes.
Oh, jeez.
To be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that pays off in like a huge way. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's worth it to me to try stuff.
Yep. Yeah. You gotta continue to. I think the people that really stand out, the people that are doing something different. That's where I feel like I need to refocus my energy on being different. There's 100 million video people out there, and it just continues to grow. But I think if you stay creative and different and try to, bring something to the table that not everyone sees, that's when I think sooner or later, if you continue to do that, and you're doing it. So I think if you just keep going towards those things, keep learning, I'm sure you'll get there. But
what's your like video wise differentiation? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I try to really focus on bringing different visuals. So whether that's different transitions, combined with audio, and bringing that person like really into the visual is kind of my goal. I want them to like leave or stop watching the video and they're like, wow, damn, that was like completely different than this guy's, or it just like leave an impact, probably the same thing with the audio, or is leaving that person saying, damn, like that was good, or like that, or they think of me later too. Right. You know what I mean? Making an impact on that person.
100%.
Yeah.
In the music, it's all about, if you sound like you've won the game. You already won. If people know what you sound like there's 99% of the people that make good music, and they're great singers or great producers, and it sounds great, but it's not like, it doesn't have a sonic imprint, like know a Drake track when you hear one.
Yeah.
Know a Kanye track when you hear one, and that's why these people stick around for 10 years.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think I noticed that on your most recent album was your flow I can't remember the song names, but they were. I mean, it's just like you have that flow, dude. So I think you're getting to that point where it's Jack Kennedy, and I freaking love it. So
I appreciate it.
yeah. What's your current inspiration? I mean, do you look out towards another person that may be doing it, that's in a position that you want to be in, or are these people? Is it Drake? Is it these big names, or do you have a current inspiration right now?
Musically, not really. Like I was just talking actually because I was home in Michigan with do you know Calvin Doyle and Calvin? It's my friends, man. That's like my inspiration, honestly. Like,
is
like
it Calvin Gee or something?
Calvin, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to interview him. He's like literally about to manage like $1 billion, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Okay.
Yeah. But like honestly, sonically, yeah, of course I have inspirations. Like I love the old Kanye. I love Motown.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, like I like Drake. He's kind of fallen off to me. Like he's literally the biggest artist in the world. So
Yep.
he's doing great.
Yeah.
But creatively, it feels a little stagnant right now. So like the older stuff is more inspirational to me.
I know, right?
So yeah, but honestly, just my friends. Like I feel like my one rule in music is like if somebody else is doing it, I can't do it. So like if somebody else put trap drums on the record, which everyone's doing, I can't have trap drums on my record.
Yep.
Like bust that off. Like
Yeah.
go something, and it's like taking those inspirations and combining them into your own. That's what art is. But it's really my friends. Like Doyle. I just see him. Like I've watched him go from like a flip cam to like traveling the world, and he's like on Good Morning America and like what I can't even. I literally call him sometimes. I'm like, what country are you in?
Yeah.
And so like just being around that energy, and to me is most inspirational. Like Calvin's killing it. We got a friend Mallory. You should interview too. She's traveling. I'm sure you've seen her stuff. Like you might know her. I don't know, but Mike Martin's crazy. Kevin Smith. Like they just all are like killers in their own area.
Yes.
And that's super inspirational to me.
Yeah, I think in that interview with Ryan, that was a point that we touched on in terms of just his networking. It seems like all of you guys are doing your own thing and just hustling, man. I mean, all you guys are working really hard towards your goals, and that's something that I kind of preach in my own way too, is really, figuring out where you want to go and then just going all in on that. How important is that to, go all in and then surrounding yourself, with the right people. I still don't really have that social circle yet, but I'm working on it.
I mean, it's super important, but the other thing that's really important is the practicality of it. Like what does it actually mean? Like a lot of people like, I want to work out and eat healthy. Well, like, do you prep your meals? Like, I want to like go be, a rapper, and I want to be, make all my own records and produce all my stuff. Well, do I know how to use all that shit? It's like I better go learn.
Yep.
I think, it's like working really hard, but it's also working really smart too. And then to me, that sort of attracts, like, it's funny because like our friend group, like we didn't set out to like have like a
group of successful people. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like it just happened that way, that like Doyle's kind of the nucleus of it all, but it was really like it just kind of happened because like it's like, oh wow, like they're crushing it, I'm crushing it, you're crushing it, she's crushing it.
Yeah.
We should all like hang out.
We should be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's compliment each other. Yeah, no, I think that's in any industry. You kind of attract the right people once you start putting in the work. I think that goes for work too. For me, it's like the more I put out in the video realm, the more work I get. If I step off the gas a little bit, all of a sudden I'll see a decline. And I think that's just one of those things that kind of attracts to you, I think. But so what's your overall end goal? Is this something that you want to be on the big screen? You like what is the end goal for you?
Yeah, just to like just to take over, basically,
Yes,
and
I
do
love
what
that.
you know. Like I'm coming for Drake, man.
Yes.
That's what I want, but to do it my way, you know,
Yep.
like to do it. I don't even know if it's about like my way. It's just doing it what feels natural to me.
Okay.
So, you know, just that's what I want. So
That's sweet, man. I love that.
yeah.
All right. So the whole point of this podcast is really kind of to give someone that the everyday person something they can do to kind of take away from our conversation or take away from you directly, and they can implement it into their life. Do you have any? Yeah. What's that? Yeah, that's kind of like.
Because like if I watch a podcast, like I might care about me, but if you're getting something, you know, you're getting
dude,
value.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm still working on this whole thing, dude. So we'll get there. But
Definitely working on it.
yeah, I know. That's why I love it, dude. I love watching you guys because you guys. I see you guys working your ass off, and that's what inspires me, and that's why I asked you that. Is because I was curious if it was something bigger than your social circle, but it's just like me. It's the people that are going after their dreams. It's the people that are like doing whatever it takes to make things happen. Those are the people that just like it gives me the chills because
Totally.
like that's what it's all about. We're all on a journey, and I think anybody can learn from anybody. So you know what I mean? What do you got for us? Is there any one thing to kind of inspire someone else?
Yeah, I would say that it's definitely possible, but just to focus on like the small things, you know, the small steps that like get you there. You know, like Saban at Alabama calls it the process. Like you don't look at the end goal, you look at like the little things along the way. So like when I'm thinking, you know, I need to make a song, I need to write the song, I need to produce the song, I need to record the song, I need to mix the song, I need to then shoot a video for the song. That's overwhelming.
Yes,
and
totally.
So breaking it down into like, okay, like today, and you could apply it to whatever. You know, today, like I'm gonna, you know, pick 2 or 3 things that like you are gonna nail.
Yep.
And go nail those things, and then like get more done. Awesome. And then the other thing that's been, you know, that's practical to me is like every interaction that you have with people, just like bring value with no expectation of return. You know, like I've taken like a lot of meetings and like I've done a lot of stuff for people. Like I don't know if I'll ever, who cares if I get something back from it? But like if you're trying to build something creative, that to me is like the greatest thing. And sometimes it's just you bring good energy. It doesn't need to be like a literal deliverable, but like, you know, connect this person with that person and like whatever it is. Like that's to me the most practical thing is like every time you know, see somebody or, you know, meet with somebody, like what value can I bring to them, and not like thinking, oh, but what can they give back to me?
Yeah.
You know, if we were meeting, I wouldn't be like, I'm gonna be nice to Mitch, he'll shoot me a video.
Yeah.
That people feel the energy. Like,
yeah.
You know, you feel that.
I'd be like.
Right. Yeah. Like, and people know, but
yeah.
Like.
Dude, I know. I think both those points are amazing. The first one is the small actionable steps, the taking the little steps. I think we all get overwhelmed, me including. It's like I have so much footage that I want to cut up. I'll find myself creating new projects here and here. I'll have like 5 projects open. I'm like, dude, get back to step 1. Yeah. And then I have to say, okay, just lay down 5 visuals. And then whatever, take a break, do whatever you got to do, but just lay down 5 and then just continue pushing forward. If you don't do that, you'll get overwhelmed. And then what happens is you'll get distracted. I'm always distracted. So, and then, you know, just nothing ever comes of it. So I think I love that. And then the next one was, what was the next one? Just, bring
value always. Bring the value, you know? So, like, to me, an actionable step, if you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to build your own thing, is, you know, you can do it on Instagram. Like, I did it on Instagram. Tons of people do it on Instagram. And you say, okay, message a bunch of people. But you got to understand why you're messaging them and what you can add. Like, if you're messaging a random person on Instagram that to get business and to get a paying client, you have to deliver over the top value to them.
Okay.
You know? And to me, what really worked was, you know, I would go listen to their song, and I would, actually listen to it and say something I liked about it, and then say, I'm a mixing engineer. I would love to work with you. Can we meet? And I could tell you how I would add value to you.
Okay.
It doesn't work every time, but if you're batting 1 for 10, and you do it every day, you're doing all right.
So that's something that anybody could do right now. I mean, anybody. You're in a position where you're Jack and you want to get into music. You can just start out messaging people and add value first, with no expectation.
No expectation, or your end goal. Your end goal is to get. If you're trying to build a business, it's either to sell something, work with a company, get a paying client, which is fine to know, but you got to understand, why would they work with you? You got to think, why would they work with me if they over someone else or that? So it's different for everything, but maybe it's you do one for free first. Maybe, okay, I'll shoot you a free video if we do a project together, or I'll do one mix for free if we do a project together, or I'll cut some studio time for free. And, it's a fine line to walk between, being cocky and, selling yourself as you really are. My thing would be look, I got a really nice mic and I know how to mix vocals very well. So that's the value I can bring to you, and always, to me, the practical part is how can you differentiate yourself and get paid for your skills and not your time?
Yes.
Because in the creative field and a business field and all this stuff, you just get paid for a product. You don't get paid for if it takes, at least you hope not to. For me, I don't want to get paid for my time on a mix. I'm getting paid because I'm going to deliver you a badass mix.
Yes.
You don't care how long it took. People don't care how long it takes to edit their video. They just want a badass video.
Yeah.
If you can get into that, and so I started out to get in the door. I started out recording a lot of people, that's an hourly thing, because all you have to have is a nice microphone, and a lot of people have nice microphones. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually transitioned into what my real skill was, which is the creative side, the mixing side, which there's a lot more value there. So it's self-awareness,
Yes.
That's the practical thing, is self-awareness. If I knew in my head, everyone else has a nice mic. That's not a differentiator. Just like everyone has a good camera in video days. So how can I, my thing is my vision's different. I see, I'm still getting to really sonically what my vision is, but I feel I get it. I see the big picture. And so I could add that, and I could change people's records from what they thought it could be. And to me, that's a valuable skill. Just like if somebody brought you a vision and you'd say, and they have it one way, and then you give them back their edit and they're like, wow, my mind's blown.
Yes, yeah.
That's value.
Dude, that's the goal.
You start to get paid for that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that's super practical is just figuring out how to ask for money, man. That's that's not that easy to me.
Right. Yeah.
Because with the working with artists or whoever, it's a big deal. It's their money.
Yes.
It's sometimes you're working with businesses. It obviously is their money too, but they're expecting to have these expenses. They're expecting to have that kind of a thing. But when you're working with people who it's these are people who went to work at a job they don't really probably want to go to and worked hard to get this money, they're afraid to give it away, and they should be. I get it.
Yeah.
So it's that. It's just got to be a cool person.
Yeah.
It's a super practical piece of advice. Just ask people about themselves, care about them on a personal level, and that'll probably turn out well for you in the end. That's what I found.
Dude, I love that. No, just be authentic, be real, man. Be yourself, and bring that person some value. And I think you can't lose. It's just funny. I'm laughing because there's so many people that literally will hit me up and they just want something. I'm like, bro, what are you're missing the whole point here. And
right.
then they get pissed at me because I don't respond. I'm like, you just don't get it. You don't get it, and I'm sorry, but like you just don't understand. But
Right.
Whatever.
Because if you're you, it's it's empathy, it's seeing the other side. Because if somebody's sending a message to you, those people that you're referencing don't think like, wow, like Mitch is probably doing a lot of stuff, like he's taking his time to respond to this, like I appreciate that.
Yeah.
They're just like, you owe me a response. It's like, what? Why? Like.
There's those people out there, man. All
Yeah.
day. Oh, dude, you hit on some great points there. So thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Where can we find your music? Do you have a website that we can go check out? Are you on YouTube as well?
JackKennedy.com.
Okay.
Or it's on. I'll send you the fan link so you
Okay.
can link it below. But it's just like a link to all the streaming places.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
perfect.
that's probably the best place. So then you can click, you can go Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, SoundCloud, wherever you want to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll have to stay in touch, and I might come out and see you sometime, man. I'm trying to get out of Michigan in the fall/winter, and I love that place, so I might be hitting you up.
You got a place to stay if you're here.
All right, cool, man. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon,
If
buddy.
you don't know what the best is, how can you know your limit if you're not willing to test it?